1 month before graduation, my sister raised a glass to her future. Then my father looked at me and said, "Your inheritance is gone." I cried that night, but months later, their house carried the debt they created. The truth came out during my grandfather's birthday dinner. My sister had been accepted into an artist residency. It sounded impressive, but the program didn't pay for housing, food, or travel. My grandmother asked how she planned to afford it. My sister smiled. "Mama's fund will cover everything." That fund was created for all 3 grandchildren. My older brother had already graduated. My sister was still in college. I was weeks away from starting my first semester. My uncle asked whether enough money would remain for all of us. My father answered without looking embarrassed. "We decided to use it where it matters most." Then he looked at me. "She has scholarships. She'll manage." I thought I had heard him wrong. What happened to my share? My mother said, "Your sister needed more support." I had spent years lowering my college costs. I worked part-time, earned early credits, and qualified for a partial scholarship. They used every responsible choice I made as an excuse to give me less. When I demanded to know how much remained, my parents avoided the question. My uncle asked whether all the withdrawals had paid for education. My father paused. "Most of them." The table went quiet. My parents left with my sister. They didn't ask how I would get home. The next morning, my mother texted me, "Pick up milk." That was all. I called my brother and told him the account was almost empty. He became furious. He had attended an affordable college and believed more than $50,000 from his portion should still exist. Days later, he found a folder from our grandmother. Inside were account papers and a letter explaining that the money came from a $300,000 life insurance payment. It was supposed to support all 3 of us. Anything my brother didn't use should have stayed protected. Instead, my parents had spent his remaining money, most of mine, and part of the fund on household bills. My brother contacted an attorney. Because I was still 17, he pursued his claim first while mine was reviewed. That was when we learned my father had already asked a lender about borrowing against the house our grandmother left them. My parents said they needed the loan to fund my sister's residency. The attorney warned them not to touch the remaining account and began tracing every withdrawal. My parents told relatives we were trying to make them homeless. We weren't. They could keep living in the house. But after months of negotiations, they signed an agreement acknowledging what they owed us. A secured claim was placed against the property. They could no longer sell or refinance it without paying the debt first. The house they wanted to use to fund my sister's dream became collateral for the future they had taken from us. My sister couldn't afford the residency without our money. She messaged me, "You destroyed everything." I replied, "No. I stopped you from spending what was never yours." That fall, I started college with additional aid, a campus job, and a room at my grandparents' house. My parents still say I chose money over family. But they didn't lose me because I wanted revenge. They lost me when they decided my future was the easiest one to steal. So did I go too far, or did I finally force them to face what they had done?